I have tried and failed a few times, worried that I would lose this person who had become what I thought one of my best friends and confidants. But once I finally deleted their contact number, it made me realize they were not my best friend or confidant. And I started putting all of my energy into the right people, the ones that are always there, the ones you've probably been ignoring for a while. Don't get stuck giving away your energy to something that is broken and leaky. Give it to something that will grow and feed you.
Welcome to The X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on. I'm Claire.
And I'm Janice. We are breakup coaches, here to help you beat your breakup,
Heal your broken heart,
and move on to an amazing, abundant life.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The X-Files. We're so excited you're here for, I think this is our first revisited episode. We've now been doing the podcast for like a year and a half. And
100 plus, now 100 plus episodes.
Yeah. Wow. So, we've been going for a while, and I think our second episode ever was on no contact because obviously we prioritized it. We have a lot to say about it. But, we've come a long way as podcasters. We've also gained more experience as coaches. And so we wanted to revisit this topic and make sure you guys had our most up-to-date information on no contact. So
if it's helping so many people, I think it would be good to continue to give resources to help you through it, because it can be challenging.
Yeah. So let's maintain contact with no contact. But before we dive into that, we just want to ask, hey, if you're loving the show, go ahead, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Spotify doesn't have reviews yet. So lame. But if you or someone has a Apple ID, then go ahead and leave us a review, because it really helps people find the show. And if you're loving it and you're finding it helpful, then someone else will. So
yeah. And also it's a way for us to, connect with you, because we read them, we love them, we appreciate them. So yeah, send us a little love note over on Apple Podcasts. Exactly.
So no contact. Why no contact? What is the logic behind no contact? Our logic from experience and from our own experience and helping our clients with this as well is that distance equals perspective. And that's one of the main things you're trying to find after a breakup is perspective. And so because of that, dedicating yourself to no contact is really an investment in your future. The more of an advantage you can give yourself in finding perspective on yourself, on who you are, on what the relationship meant, on where you can improve, all of those things, that's an act of radical self-love that you should be very proud of taking.
Yes, especially because some people find it so hard in the beginning. If you are able to push through that because you understand how good it is for you, yes, radical self-love for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think one of the things that we hear about no contact, why people don't want to do that, is because it's seems like an overreaction. It seems childish and immature. And it's like, hang on a second. No, it's not.
I think it's the opposite. I think sometimes, it's very mature to do something that feels hard in the moment because of the outcome that you'll get from it.
Exactly. Long-term benefit for short-term discomfort.
Well, it isn't actually quite childish to have to do something just because it feels good just in the moment. What do you call that? When you eat immediate gratification?
Yeah. We want delayed gratification. That's what my parents would always tell me when I'm like, I want it though.
Oh, interesting.
They're like, no, delayed gratification. So no contact means conditioning yourself to adapt to your new reality. And if you don't know what that new reality is yet, it means building that from the ground up. And that's hard to do if you're still, in direct contact, speaking or stalking on social media, your ex.
It's like preventing yourself from your new reality.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like each time you build a foundation, it gets swept out to sea again. So
totally.
Yeah. And your healing journey is really about accepting that this one chapter is closed and eventually move past that pain and open a new beautiful chapter. And that's very challenging to do when you have that person in your life. And yet, you know, we're not joking around. Like, we know it's hard. Like, we know it's difficult to let go and to stop inserting this person into your existence through text messages and emails and looking at social media. Because, you know, being with someone causes us to build an addiction to having them in our lives. You know, we get comfortable. We have some sort of reliability, whether or not it was like fully reliable and consistent, you know, like breakups happen
that's
for
a good
reason.
point. Yeah, because even in bad relationships, people say that it felt almost impossible to go no contact, which I can relate to as well. You know, I would even have text messages from my abuser that I found hard to resist responding to.
Yeah.
And even sometimes I did in the very beginning before I decided to go no contact.
Yeah, because, you know, our brain chemistry is powerful, and something that's known, even if we know it's not the best for us, that's still reassuring, and we know we can survive it.
Yes. Yeah. And are you saying maintaining contact?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, completely. You know, it's predictable.
It's predictable.
You know, we're going to talk about this, but the best example is illicit drugs, specifically heroin. Everyone knows it's bad for you, but yet people, once they get into addiction, it's still comforting to know that it's coming.
Yeah, completely.
All right, there's more reasons why no contact is effective. Another one being out of sight, out of mind. By avoiding triggers like talking to your ex, seeing their pictures, or I have admitted on the show that I've done this, accidentally drunk dialing them.
Oh no.
I haven't drunk dialed, but I've drunk text before. Long time ago, people. This is definitely in my past, but yes, I have been guilty of it. You will have enough time in the present moment to A, learn who this new you is. Love that. B, see all the beauty and positives in your life. Anyone who has gone on vacation and had something bad happen to them while they were there, could even include a breakup, knows how hard it is to be happy in even the most beautiful places when you're constantly being reminded of the bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's logical, but that doesn't mean that it's easy to see the logic when you're in the midst of it.
Yeah. And that's why we're here, being such a strong force for no contact in your life.
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe you can just take our word for it and try it. We're gonna get you started we're gonna get you started, and also we're going to share some experiences from our community. So you know, maybe you'll believe them as well. If you don't believe Claire and I, maybe you'll believe you know, the many listeners who have said it's worked for them.
Exactly.
In the Mind Body Green article, The No Contact Rule, the most effective way to move on from an ex, states, no contact is a good time to develop better boundaries, increase your self-esteem, and abandon dysfunctional behaviors you learned in childhood or dysfunctional patterns, you know, that you had with your ex. It's so many positive things that come of it when you're able to see more clearly.
Exactly. Yeah. Awareness is the first step, and it's hard to gain awareness. It's hard to gain perspective without distance. I just love this quote from a Cosmo article, Real Talk, the no contact rule is the only way to get over a breakup. I love it.
Boom. They're not holding back.
The quote goes, the no contact rule is so effective because it allows you to sit with your grief and wounds and not plug up any holes or feelings of brokenness with someone else, as sex and grief coach Brescia Wade explains in Cosmo. In painful breakups, the grief can be so palpable that we will do anything to soothe the pain in a given moment, even if that immediate action leads to greater long-term suffering. That's exactly what we were just saying. It's like short-term discomfort for long-term gain. When you go no contact, this can help you properly acknowledge a loss and mourn it, and eventually create space for something new, Wade adds, which is just, I love that quote.
I know.
Another quote from the same article, Don't hit them up because you miss them, Dr. Sabrina Romanoff, clinical psychologist at Lenox Hill Hospital in NYC, says. Remember, the function of this time is to process your own thoughts, feelings, and needs without the impingement of someone else. Sit with your grief and loneliness and learn to process it instead of running from it. Like, we get it. We've been there. We know that right now it just is probably so painful, and you would want like any way to end this pain. And there is no shortcut, but there are routes that will give you the best chance of healing in the shortest amount of time. And no contact is one of those routes.
It's a good point that you're making about the length of time, because absolutely, if you can start going no contact, you'll feel better sooner than if you drag this on with your ex, for sure. It might take a little longer to initially start, I guess. Yeah, because you're sitting with the discomfort rather than going and texting them and feeling better. But then you feel worse and then you feel better. Whereas this, it's like, give it a week or two and you're going to feel like, I guess the word would be more relief.
Yeah.
Ongoing relief.
Yeah.
So Claire and I are big research people, and we like to bring in science. That's a big part of Vax Files that I'm very proud of. And there is a lot of science behind the effectiveness of no contact. We'll share a few of our favorite studies here. For instance, 2011 study published in the Journal of Personality says, romantic breakups arouse fundamental questions about the self. Who am I without my partner? This study examined self-concept reorganization and psychological well-being over an 8-week period in the months following a breakup. Multi-level analyses revealed that poorer self-concept recovery preceded poorer well-being and was associated with love for an ex-partner, suggesting that failure to redefine the self contributes to post-breakup distress. Yeah. Why are we bringing up this study? It is very, very difficult to start this new chapter of your life and to learn who you are without your partner if you are talking with them all the time.
Yeah.
And, so many things. People, want partnership. Some people, even after a breakup, think that, someday they'd like to have companionship again. And this is just going to completely prevent you from making any progress towards your new future.
Yeah, because you have to, what this is saying is that you need to redefine the self. You need to you're not just mourning the loss of the partner, you're mourning the loss of who you were with that person. So you're evolving. And if you're trying to keep that same identity that you've had this whole time with that person, you're not going to be able to move on as quickly or as healthily until that does happen. So, lean into it. Like you're mourning a loss of a self, a chapter of yourself.
Yeah. And the future that you no longer have. Yeah. So many things. And you need to give yourself time to grieve it. And you really can't grieve it fully if you're still connected with the person, really. Because you aren't accepting that that chapter's over and that a new chapter has begun if you're, communicating with the person.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Another one, a study by cognitive neuroscientists at Columbia University. Oh, I love this one. We're going to be talking about how breakups are like withdrawals. Okay. All right. Neuroscientists at Columbia University use brain fMRI scans to look at brain activity in unmarried people who had experienced an unwanted breakup in the previous 6 months. Participants looked at pictures of their ex-partners while thinking about shared experiences. Hello, looking at social media. The researchers compared the scans to when participants looked at pictures of a friend or when they were exposed to pain via a hot probe on the arm. Yuck. The scientists found that the same parts of the brain lit up when individuals looked at their ex-partner's pictures or experienced physical pain, but not when they looked at the friend pictures. These brain regions, including the insula and the anterior cingulate cortex, are associated with physical pain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So a broken heart really does feel like you have a broken heart.
Yes, and then going and exposing yourself to either communicating or looking at pictures of your ex is going to feel
physically hurt you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even, and I mean, the study didn't look at this, but this could be even when, like, right before you go and look at it, you feel like you must do it. It's just making it worse. It's compounding the problem.
Yeah.
And in another study, researchers Lucy Brown and Helen Fisher scanned the brain activity of 15 young adults who had experienced a recent unwanted breakup and reported still feeling passionately in love. And in this case, many of them were actually trying to get back with their partner. When these participants viewed photographs of their former partners, the scans showed activity in several brain areas, including the ventral tegmental area, the ventral striatum, and the nucleus accumbens. I think I just said all of those words out loud for the first time. These regions are part of the brain's reward motivation system that communicates via release of the neurotransmitter dopamine. Dopamine is involved in both drug addiction and in the early obsessive stages of love. So, what does all of this mean? Therefore, those who have been rejected may experience cravings for their ex-partner, similar to the way addicts crave a drug, or people newly in love crave the presence of their beloved.
Okay, so basically, if they saw photos of their former partners, their brains looked like someone who was newly in love,
or who was getting a hit from their favorite drug.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I guess that's the more important part, really.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's basically like your brain, when looking at your ex-partner, if you want to be with them, looks like you're doing drugs. You're like getting that hit.
Because of it's the reward motivation system that's triggered, which I mean, I guess we can talk about this in another episode, but I've been listening to things recently about what your brain does when it's newly in love. And it's similar. It's that you crave something and then you feel the release because you get it. Similar with the drug, and similar when you're having withdrawals from your partner.
Yeah. And also, with every drug, there comes a down. Like with every high, there's a down, there's a low. And so, it may feel good initially to like, to give in to that urge, but you're gonna crash afterwards.
Well, and also when you keep chasing it, which is what I see people doing after a breakup, is just continuing to, chase this little tiny hit and just think, oh, well, I just need to look once, or I just need to answer this one message, or I just don't know why I can't stop thinking about, getting in touch with them. I must really need to do it. And then it starts over and over and over. I've never spoken with anyone who, was just able to do it, like that one time. They feel,
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle, just like with drug addiction. And you know what? It's a vicious cycle just as with early love too.
Yeah.
When, you can't quite get enough, and like you're sad when they're away, and then you keep on, going after it. Which, it's not necessarily it can be a negative thing because it can get in the way of your life.
I mean, I just, I don't think the beginning of love is like bad. I just think that, I think the intensity of the emotions can cause people to do things that honestly shorten that period, which I think is just such a waste.
That's a good point. Well, many people act irrationally when they're newly in love.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah. So, there's that.
I was actually listening to a multi-amory episode recently, and they were talking about new relationship energy, and they were talking about some studies, and the people experience the same brain activity as someone with obsessive compulsive disorder.
Oh,
isn't that fascinating?
That is fascinating. Ooh. Yeah,
I know.
Makes
it's
sense.
So cool. Yeah.
Makes sense. According to neuroethicist Nicole Vincent, the emotions you feel and build on in a relationship are brought about by a range of different neurochemicals. All the emotions that you end up feeling, they're just more of the physiological features of your brain. That all these fantastic human emotions that we feel, they all just seem to be more chemicals, neurochemicals, and brain wiring that happens. basically certain hormones, neurochemicals, oxytocin, vasopressin, they're all involved in bonding, basically the formation of affection. So yes, when you break up later on, some of the things you end up experiencing are not dissimilar to withdrawal from drugs and drug addiction. Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah.
Well, and the reason why we're bringing up all of these studies is if it's similar to an addiction, then you need to kind of just treat it similar to an addiction. And what do people do when they're addicted? They need to wean themselves off and then eventually completely stop having any exposure to the chemical or to the drug. You can't just do it once in a while. You have to learn how to completely separate it from your life.
Yeah. And although no contact, I at least say it doesn't have to be forever. I have found that most people, once they're comfortably no contact, they don't want to really even talk to this person anymore. It's just was mainly like the addiction that was speaking. I mean, because if you think about it too, like, it doesn't create a lot of space in your life for a new partner to come in and be like, oh, look, they're super good friends with their ex-boyfriend. That's
it just, and you're absolutely right. It just
like,
you are so right. The more space that your ex is taking in your life, the less space that you'll have for someone else, because both of them are romantic connections. And like we often say, if you weren't friends with your ex before, bringing them back into your life, the chances of it just, remaining just this friend pal thing, not all that high. And you're absolutely right. I guess it's fine to think it doesn't have to be forever, but I have also experienced that people are just like, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. But like, leave yourself that opportunity. I think it does make it easier to start the process if you're like, it doesn't have to be forever. It doesn't have to be forever. But then you can choose that it is going to be forever once you're feeling better.
Well, and let's also, I think it's worth pointing out that so many times when you go no contact with someone, you have a chance to actually think about the reality of the relationship and your patterns with this person and how this person showed up in the relationship. And a lot of times people end up deciding that they actually don't want this person in their life.
They're like, actually, that kind of sucked.
And they realize yes, exactly.
They're like, which I have my rose tinted glasses on with this person, right? But it has not been a positive thing that I want to keep in my life, basically.
People come to X-Files and they come often to coaching, not always, because the relationship ended poorly or was not the best. And so I think once, that's actually really freeing for people to realize that they actually want to, walk completely away from the person. But it's all an individual journey. And so one thing that we did for this episode, which was really great, now that we're a year and a half in and 100 episodes in, we do have an amazing community. We have clients, we have listeners who are active and often tell us how effective, our advice is. So we had the chance to ask around to our listeners, how has no contact worked for you? And I really wanted to share some of the quotes. Everything is anonymous, but these, I'm really excited because these are all from actual listeners. So let's get into it. If you don't believe Claire and I, believe the experiences of people who have gone through breakups in just the last year and said that this worked for them. So first of all, I asked the question, has no contact worked for you? I got yes, 100%. The first days suck, but it gets easier quickly. I heard this multiple times. When I didn't go no contact, I got manipulated into taking my abusive ex back, or they felt that they kept on taking the person back or going back each time because of having contact with the person. And this was finally what allowed them to move on. So, okay. I love this quote so much, and I love this person so much. Okay. Going no contact is hard as fuck. It really is like breaking a drug addiction. But remember, this is self-care, about doing things that are good for you. If people are meant to be in your life, they will be, but only once you have healed. I have tried and failed a few times, and it's okay to fail, worried that I would lose this person who had become what I thought one of my best friends and confidants. But once I finally deleted their contact number and stopped myself from looking at their Instagram, it made me realize they were not my best friend or confidant. And I started putting all of my energy into the right people, the ones that are always there, the ones you've probably been ignoring for a while. You need to just shift the energy back to you and to people who have always been there for you. Don't get stuck giving away your energy to something that is broken and leaky. Give it to something that will grow and feed you.
Oh my gosh.
I know. When I got this, I was just so moved and proud of this beautiful person.
That is so true. Because I think, that feeling of being like, wow, this is like the one person who has my back. That's such a universal feeling.
Well, and that's what we were just saying. That's why so many people don't go back to contact, because they realize, it ended because, this person wasn't that great to me, or our relationship was, maybe a little toxic or dysfunctional. And no, I don't want contact.
They're like, never mind.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I just got a couple more. This is also from a listener who said that they completely changed the way that they do breakups and relationships directly because of X-Files. They told me that they had an ongoing pattern of pretty much never breaking contact. Even though they were the ones that usually ended relationships, they still found it really hard to actually stop talking. They said in one case, they kept talking to an ex for 10 years. I know. And then they say, when I started listening to your podcast, I started making no contact a priority. I went through a breakup last summer and did no contact and couldn't believe how much faster I was able to move forward. I heard a quote once: "You don't forget, you just stop remembering." Having those daily reminders keeps you in a state of romanticizing. I went no contact for 6 months and it really helped. It was the only way I was able to move on after my last breakup. I had another breakup even more recently and went no contact, and it was easy. No contact makes it much more simple.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, I'm so proud of all of these listeners. We really do have like such amazing people who listen to X-Files because they want help and they want to heal, and then actually turn around and, implement the things that we talk about.
And speak such wizened words.
I know.
It's amazing.
It's so impressive. I love being X-Files co-host. It's so rewarding. Okay, one final one. No contact is important because it allows you to separate and take time and space to reflect on your relationship. With time, you will come to realize that the relationship most likely had some issues that wouldn't have worked out long term. It's extremely important to take this time for yourself. You cannot expect to maintain contact with someone that hurt you and heal at the same time.
So good.
And this is actually, coaching is often about, asking pointed questions to people to help them self-reflect in different ways. And, I have to say, I enjoy asking people who, when we're talking about going no contact with someone and I learn a little bit about the relationship, I love just really pointedly asking people, why would you want to keep in touch with someone who hurt you the way that you're telling me that this person did?
Yeah.
And so often people are like, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, seriously.
Look, it makes sense, everybody. Like, I understand the science behind it and the patterns, that you get in with a person. So it's normal and it's natural and everything, but it's just something to think about.
Yeah, exactly. So now that, hopefully you're on board with us again, you're like, all right, this makes sense. I believe it. There's social proof. There's science, and everything. Sure. What actually is no contact? Number one, obviously not talking to each other or calling each other. I think that's a big one. Blocking them on social media. This is huge. I think part of no contact should be that you're not like waiting for them to potentially contact you either. Like, just because you're no contact, there's still that like anticipation of, are they going to text me? Are they going to call me? Like, whatever. And I think blocking them on social media and blocking their phone number helps with that, because you're not worried about just like one day in the middle of your work day or something, getting a phone call that like ruins your day.
Yeah, or a text, or and some people kind of anticipate it in almost this like positive way, like almost like they're looking forward to it, or they're like enjoying the mystery of whether or not the person's going to get in touch. And sometimes anticipating it much more so than other things in their life. Yeah, it's like, why don't you rather look forward to something a lot more positive? And exactly. You might not know, but you'll stop caring if you know. And that's like really where the freedom is.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if it can't happen, then you're no longer expecting it, and you're no longer like anticipating it, even if that feels positive to you in the moment. We also recommend deleting and blocking their phone number. There's the cliche of drunk texting. I've like never done, for some reason, if I am drinking, I actually feel a lot better. Like, and
say that again.
Don't want to like.
Oh, interesting.
I don't want to contact them. I'm like, fuck them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's when I'm like sober that I've found the impulse in the past has been the worst or the hardest to resist, is because like I'm in my feels, and so yeah, I don't know. So, but I think I'm a little unique in that, because I haven't heard a lot of people feel that way. But if you, in case you felt that way and you're like, I don't get the whole drunk texting thing, it's when I'm sober, that's the problem.
Well, yes, I mean, there's many benefits to deleting, drunk texting being one, but
yeah, exactly. Deleting, and if you have their number memorized, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm impressed. I suppose I would like to know how that happened.
That's the case with my fiance, and I just don't put the number in the phone, so.
Interesting. Do you still have it memorized?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's bad. I don't know what. I think because I had to I had practice with it. Like I, did a lot of forms and shit where he was, the emergency contact or whatever. Okay. And we had like shared insurance and shit, so I used it frequently enough where I did have it memorized, and still do. but you've
implemented all of the other things that we talk about on the show. So
exactly. So I'm sure eventually I'll forget it, because I'm not practicing with it anymore. Okay, what is no contact? Getting rid of memorabilia and pictures that you would display or otherwise see every day. This is big. Like that means deleting these pictures off of your phone, at least archiving things that are on social media. I know it's like that cliche of like, oh, they deleted all the pictures of their significant other, so they must have broken up, and it's like everyone knows now. But I don't care. Do it anyway, so that you don't have to see it. Notifying mutual friends that you don't want to hear about this person's current life events at this time.
Yeah, I love that you included this, because a lot of people kind of struggle with this aspect, and it's completely appropriate to do this.
And they're probably, your friends don't know how to treat this. Like they probably have all their own philosophies about breakups and the two of you and like how things should go down. So you do have to tell them. But I think that if you tell them, they'll know, okay, this is how this person would like this to be handled. And if they're a good friend, they're going to do that for you.
Yeah. And people don't. Yeah, totally. A lot of the time, I don't think people realize the impact it has. I know I've talked to clients before about, well, you really need to have a conversation with this person. Yeah. This isn't what you want to hear. And I'll hear, they didn't mean anything by it, or they're not trying to hurt me. I'm like, exactly. I'm not saying that they are, but you've never told them that you don't want to hear this. So you just need to put it out there.
Yeah. And if you tell them, then they're like, cool, I'll just not say this person, or like, like if they do have a good story or something, they'll be like, oh, with some friend, I did this. And, like they can keep it vague and anonymous. Like if they really want to share about this fun thing, it just gives them the guidelines so that they're not accidentally, like totally innocently, trampling your day.
Completely.
Yeah. So, and lastly, not maintaining contact or having indirect conversations through friends or family members. So like, yeah, as painful as it is, don't keep talking to your ex-boyfriend's mom, or, like, I know it sucks because like they're an independent person outside of their relationship with with their, family member that you used to date. But you got to draw lines in the sand and just like be grateful for, the impact this person had on your life. But like moving forward, you cannot keep contact with them.
You really can't. Everyone understood that the context of the relationship with, was because of your relationship with your partner.
Yeah.
And yes, it is sad. It's also a part of being an adult. And when you break up with someone, sometimes you also have to separate from other people that you might really like, but it's better for everybody for sure.
Yeah. And just be grateful for what you had, and
focus on your future. If you had the capacity to be really good friends with your ex's mom, that's a wonderful thing, and you're going to have rich relationships in the future with other people. I just want to toss in here that tangentially to asking your friends not to bring up your ex, I have gotten messages from people who have just broken up with someone, kind of like group messages, just saying like, I just want everyone to know we've broken up, and it would really help me if you wouldn't mind, like unfriending them, especially if like we only knew the person through my friend. So that's up to you. I never found it inappropriate. I really appreciated being asked and was happy to do it. So if that, seems like something that might help you, you might want to consider that.
Yeah.
So how long is no contact? It is scary to think that someone is really not going to be in your life anymore. And so the question of how long is, very confronting to some people. Yeah. So it is, of course, up to you. You might want to think about the following as you are considering having someone in your life. Are you still sad about the breakup? It is hard to imagine that you will not be sad anymore. I said that when I've had breakups where I said that I would never get over it, or I would never stop feeling this way. So I understand it's so overwhelming to go through a breakup that, it can feel like it'll be with you forever, but it's not. So you might want to think about that when you're thinking about having contact with someone.
Yeah.
Love this. Do you have a good foundation of friendship with your ex that happened before the relationship?
Yes.
Some people will say yes. I would say most no, but I'm not trying to give my 2 cents. Let me just finish the checklist. Do you think that it will make you sad to try and be friends? This is a really important question there. Do you feel like you might always be longing for something more?
Yeah. And to add to that, do you think it'll prevent you from making choices that are going to be for you in the future? Like maybe you're happy to be friends again, but you hesitate to go on the apps because now you're talking to this person and you're like, so I don't want to go on the dating apps and like have them feel weird about it. People, our listeners are wonderful, empathetic people who think way too much about their exes. And you're wonderful, and I love your heart, but you gotta stop. They are their own person. You need to
put yourself as a priority.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really good example, Claire, because you're being overly motivated by their feelings rather than what you think is best for you.
Exactly.
And I would say that you haven't fully moved on if that's your motivation.
Yeah.
And you might want to also think as far as, if you'd be able to be friends with this person, how would you feel about hanging out with them and the new person that they were dating?
Yeah.
That's what a friend does.
Start dating someone. Yeah, exactly. You want a third wheel with your ex and their new person.
Well, not just that, but also, I do think that it would crush you,
Yeah.
Because friends see, they're friends with their partners. So how would that make you feel? Does their friendship add to your new life or detract from it?
Yeah.
I would love to talk about time. I know we love, especially Claire, to say it doesn't have to be forever. I think that we may have said in our original episode to try 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I really want to go on the record saying that I have now seen many people try to go between 1 and 3 months.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's long enough based on my own experience and based on what I have seen. I think you need 6 months to a year. I would think maybe like taking it in 2 or 3 month increments, taking it in 1 week increments could be helpful.
Yeah.
But I think that the things are still actually really, really raw after only 3 months.
Yeah.
And
completely. If this is a breakup that you're listening to breakup podcasts and you're like really struggling with, 2 to 3 months is probably not going to be enough time. I think, if you're having trouble, I do suggest doing like okay, I'm gonna do no contact for a week. And then once you've done it for a week, it's like, I'm gonna do it for a month. And once you've done it for a month, you're gonna do it for 3 months. And like having smaller goals that build on each other will help just with human behavior and giving yourself a goal that seems attainable at your current like level of motivation,
I guess comfort, really.
and comfort. Yeah. And so like, when we say like have no contact for at least a year, I want people to be able to just do that cold turkey, but if you can't, like, and you do slip up along the way, like, I don't think it sets you back to step
slip up
1.
Can help. Yeah,
a slip up can
you.
sometimes help because they're usually very painful and devastating, and they really
sadly,
help
but,
you like maintain, oh yeah, there's a reason why I'm doing this, because
yes, I've seen slip ups be the thing that finally got someone to
exactly
turn things off forever. And I want to point out here something that just occurred to me is this whole idea of goal setting as far as lengths of time go. I think could be really effective for certain personality types.
Yeah.
I have had some listeners and clients who just full on said, I am never talking to them again.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, they were able to do it.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's, like I said, different personality types and different, maybe even like work styles or different ways of doing things.
Yeah.
Because some of my clients who set no goal other than just to cut this person out of their life had a lot of success. So
completely.
If that works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. Like that should be the first option if you can do that. I think my time-based goal setting weaning process is for the person who keeps saying, I'm never going to talk to them again. And the very next day they're like, oh, texted them.
Completely.
If that's you, then this would be great because it's like setting just enough of a goal to stretch you, but not something that's unachievable. And because it's not unachievable, you're more likely to have, the spine to make it, that 1 week or that month or whatever. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Oh, come on. I like that we're real. We're real.
It's not that you don't have a spine. It's just that like the spine is right now being used to put up with the emotional torture of maintaining a relationship with someone that's like making you depressed.
Yes.
Like
you can strengthen your spine for sure.
Yes. So it's just applying that ability to withstand to something else that you haven't probably used it for. But I do think that our listeners, like I said, like a lot of the struggle comes from really positive attributes like empathy and like willingness to see other people's side of things and, concern for other people and, seeing the best in someone who might just be a shitty person. So yeah, I agree. I think, at the very least go for 2 months, if you feel great after 2 months, then like, what's even the issue? You probably don't want to talk to this person then. 6 months is great. A year, I think, is really where you can start to know that there will be some serious changes.
Yes, big time.
Yeah.
You're still hurting so much from a breakup after just a few months, and you get more and more progress with each month. So something to think about.
Yeah. So how to keep no contact when it gets hard. It is hard. Not gonna lie, but number one, you can find an accountability buddy. So yeah, that could be a friend, it could be a coach. This is someone that when things get hard, you can message or call your accountability buddy instead.
I love when I get either WhatsApp messages or emails from my clients saying, I'm finding it really difficult today. What should I do? Or, oh, they've gotten in touch. What should I do? I love it so much. Helping people stay strong. Sometimes just putting it out into the universe and telling someone you're struggling is enough.
100%. Yeah. And like I offer email support with all of my coaching, and I tell my clients like, hey, if you want to send them something, everything we do is confidential anyway. You can type up that message and send it to me instead. And then, we can talk about it or not talk about it on the next session. But, then like you're able to get something off of your chest. Because I think a lot of times people break no contact, it's because they had an epiphany that they want to share with this person. You're
right. There's many reasons for sure. But I mean, I've done that or thought about doing that before. If you are interested in breakup coaching, hit us up on Instagram. Claire and I both hang out over there all the time, and we would love to support you. We know how effective this is. So we can send you information.
Awesome. There's the weaning method. I think we already talked about that. Question why you want to make contact again. Like, number one, what do I want to get out of this? Write it down. Okay, like I want them to say they made a mistake and, they're feeling really bad and they miss me and this was the worst mistake of their life. Please take me back. That's what I want to hear. Okay, what are the chances of that happening? Unlikely.
The same thing as with our constant closure conversation. It doesn't end up as the revenge fantasy that you I think this conversation is going to be.
Exactly. Like play out all of the options. What are they actually likely to say? Like, hey, glad you're well, hope you're good. I'm doing good. Like we get this with birthday texts a lot. It's like, okay, you want to send them a birthday text. Like, what do you want out of this? Like, or what do you think their reaction will be? Like, how will you feel if they don't respond? How will you feel if they just say, hey, thanks, and nothing else? How will you feel? I mean, to be honest, like a lot of times when I get to the end of coaching with someone, I had one client who just like put it so well. She was like she's like, I find myself, wondering if they'll reach out or like wanting them to reach out and then realizing like, I actually don't want to talk to them and I actually don't have that great of an opinion of them. The urge is still there, but like as soon as you slow it down and you think about it, you're like, actually, even if they begged for me back, I wouldn't want to go back. Like,
I think some people, and I think that I've been motivated by this in the past, when I wasn't as evolved as a human, but it's just like kind of for some people, I think it's the idea of being wanted and the idea of being desired and the idea of thinking that someone's missing you and the idea of thinking that someone still pines over you or after you, which, some people really enjoy and that could, motivate people to keep someone in their life. But I mean, it's not really healthy after you've separated from someone for either of you to be, thinking in those terms. But it can be a big letdown to find out that this person has moved on.
Oh yeah, completely.
Another way to stay strong when no contact gets hard. I absolutely love thinking of things in these terms. Connect with the person you want to be. Your breakup is your opportunity to grow as a person. Your breakup is your opportunity to think about what you want the future you to look like. You know what? Reinvent yourself, grow, all of these things. So who do you want to become? Would that amazing, glowing, highest self, best version of you be checking your ex's Instagram at 1 a.m.? Oh, such a beautiful question. They would most likely not be. Go to sleep. Get dressed right now. You don't need to be online. Decide who you want to be and then be that person.
Yes.
Ask yourself, what is my fear in continuing not to have contact with them? Everyone stop. I'll say that again. What is my fear in continuing not to have contact with them? Yeah. What I hear a lot is that people have to accept that it's really over. Yeah. And this is something that I had the opportunity to speak with someone about this week who was struggling with no contact. How do you want to look back on this time or on your goal of going no contact? Will it make you more proud to have, continued to break this commitment to yourself, or will it make you more proud to keep going? This is a powerful thing that Claire and I use in our coaching practices, and that might help you both to find closure and to keep no contact. Write a letter to your ex, and of course, do not send it.
Yes.
It is very cathartic to burn the letter after. I sometimes, this is completely up to you, but either burn it, put it somewhere, put it in an envelope, rip it up, something.
Yeah.
Journal your thoughts, even the ones that are not true. Mm-hmm. Allow yourself to release those stuck emotions and thoughts, get them out of your head and onto the paper.
Yeah, even if they're totally like whack mm-hmm. and you're like, this is very irrational and I don't think I actually believe this, but the thought keeps circling until you write it down, I find. And then when you write it down, you can see it for what it is and be like, oh, that's actually a little ridiculous.
Yes. Same reason coaching is effective is sometimes, just telling the coach what you're thinking. Well, mm-hmm. And hearing it out loud and it, allows you to process it and get it out of your system in an effective way. Yeah. Something that I love to work with people on. What would you get yourself as a breakup trophy if you actually went 3 or 6 months not talking with this person? Would you take yourself on a trip? Would you take yourself shopping? Would you redecorate? Would you take yourself out to a fancy dinner? Rewarding yourself and celebrating your successes is such an effective and positive thing to do in your life overall, and especially with a breakup, because a breakup is so challenging. No contact takes a lot of discipline and strength, and celebrating that, not only could it keep you strong and give you something to look forward to, it will be a really great way to set up this next chapter of your life because you're celebrating yourself, and that's a beautiful thing to do as a single person.
Yes. Definitely. Okay, so you're listening and you're like, shit, I broke no contact. Now what? So if you're feeling the regret of breaking no contact, welcome to the next phase of your healing journey. You're here. As much as it can hurt to feel the aftershocks of communicating with an ex during your healing journey, it can also help launch you forward to the next stage of your healing if you allow it to. So, some of these like slip ups or stumbles, like they're actually, I just like winced at the word stumble because I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm like a church camp counselor right now. Being like,
why
stumble? Because it's always like, if you wear a tank top, you'll make the boys stumble in their like pursuit of Christhood or whatever. I don't know. But
I don't
anyway,
think that way they use those terminologies in Mormonism. Make the boys stumble. Wait, that was just so we'd give them bad thoughts.
It
or
would
the
give
bad
them
message.
bad
We would
thoughts.
say we would be sending boys the wrong message is what we would be told.
Which,
Yes.
you know,
I don't even know. Like, really, if you break that down, it actually
maybe
doesn't even really make sense.
it doesn't make sense, but it makes more sense than stumble. But anyway, so
we're not here to talk about purity culture, sadly,
Yeah.
but
So anyway, while you're dating, okay, so like we were saying earlier, like if you you know, you get weak in one moment and you send the text message and you're like, fuck, that was awful, I wish I hadn't done that. That's okay. Like, this can be, you know, just like really grounding into that, like, awareness that, hey, this is not, staying in contact is not serving me, basically. So you now have more information and experience that will help you resist interacting with this person in the future. You know that you're capable of no contact in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, even if you did slip up at one point, it's like, wow, I made it, you know, this many days or this many months. Like, that's pretty awesome. Feeling the regret and even pain after communicating with an ex can help us accept that this isn't good for you. It doesn't bring you joy. And can like help, you know, sever those ties. And, you know, just you're collecting data. You're always collecting data. And it also gives you the opportunity to start over with a fresh start. It's like, okay, from now on, I'm doing no contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As unfortunate as it is, sometimes regret can be really powerful for finally creating change in your life.
Yeah.
You know, I've had times where I, you know, just stayed in the same patterns over and over again. And it's like sometimes the worst when, you know, like I often say, when I hit rock bottom last time, I was like, I gotta stop doing this. And yeah, like, I don't know if I would fully be as strong as I am now without having, you know, been able to process the regret of, you know, what I had done to create the problem in the first place. So,
yep.
Are you ready to take action with no contact? First, like we're just saying, stumbling along the way is a part of the process for many people. Everyone slips in some way after a breakup. If you're not, you know, maintaining or initiating contact with an ex, you know, might be doing other things. You know, maybe you're just thinking about them too much. Maybe you know, self-medicated too much. You know, there's lots of things. It's not like we're always saying healing is not linear. It's all over the place. Guilt and getting angry with yourself only make it worse. Shaming yourself is living in the past. It's time to move forward. So why are we saying this? Instead of just sitting there and just beating yourself up, say, whoa, that didn't feel good. I'm going to, you know, now do things this way.
Yeah.
Or you could just tell yourself, okay, now I know how horrible it feels. You know? Yeah. You have a decision to make in this moment. Are you going to use this experience to become stronger or stay stuck? Your choice.
Your choice.
We have a great worksheet that you can get if you come and join our Patreon. So head over there at the $5 level. We also have a $10 level. The link is at the top of the show notes, and that will be one resource that you can find in there.
Yeah. And this worksheet will just help you if, you know, if you're in that position of like, oh, I broke no contact, what do I do now? It'll just really lead you through the self-reflective process for that. So
yeah, it will. It's very effective because of the pointed questions that we ask as coaches to, you know, perhaps make sure that it's your last time doing it.
Yeah.
For many people. Well, we really hope that this has helped you to think about if this might be effective for you, / think about how it will be effective for you.
Yes.
And you might be sitting there thinking, how does no contact apply to my situation? We have had the opportunity over the last year and a half doing the podcast plus 100 episodes. I'm so proud of that. To hear from a lot of people about a lot of different situations and circumstances and breakup scenarios and how no contact might apply to them. Seriously, I think we might have 30, 20. We are doing a bonus episode this week. Yay. We're going to be back on Thursday to go over a lot of the most common questions that we get about applying no contact.
Yep.
And we've got you. I would be surprised if, your circumstance was not on this list. And we're just going to seriously go so deep into these questions. And we hope that it will help you see how possible it is to apply no contact to your breakup.
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
so we'll see you back in 2 days. And in the meantime, good luck. You know what? If you are thinking about going no contact, why don't you just go between now and the bonus episode?
Yeah.
See how you go.
There you go. Awesome. Yep. All right. So we will see you in a couple days.
Yep. Bye.
Thank you for listening to X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
If you liked this episode, please help others find us by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or by following the show on Spotify.
And if you'd like to connect more with us and learn about breakup coaching, find us on Instagram at X-Files Podcast.